Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, I'm definitely trying to sort the stuff out about the mic. I've got a mic, but I'm trying to get another one because I've just got another phone and it doesn't fit to my phone. This one, iPhone 12 I've just got. So I need to get another mic. So I'm definitely sorting out that issue, that problem. Also, I can't wait for the hairdressers to open. My hair is messed up. What I should have done is cut my hair bald, but then I didn't want to cut my hair bald when the start of the lockdown. By now it would have grown, but obviously I didn't want to be bald in these videos. You know, I think I would have looked really funny. I've never been bald before, but yeah, I can't imagine myself being bald. But yeah, it would have been looked really funny. But let's get straight into the video, guys. I've been seeing it. See, I'm on a lot of Facebook groups, and I see a lot. You know, I'm also on a lot of, you know, boxing, liked a lot of boxing pages, and I saw DAZN put up something today about Prime Canelo. I don't know whether they were saying, is Prime Canelo a better fighter than Floyd, or would Prime Canelo beat another Floyd? Now, I think it's a ridiculous question because I think Prime Canelo is right now 160, 168, and Floyd Mayweather never fought at those weight classes, so it would be stupid. We saw Floyd Mayweather absolutely dismantle Canelo when they fought. You know, it was a mismatch, really. Canelo got schooled. But really, prime for prime, you can't really look at it because they're different weight classes and weight classes apart. So, of course, Floyd can't go up to 168 and fight him. But is Prime Canelo a better fighter than Prime Floyd? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I think Mayweather was a genius. Let people forget that Floyd Mayweather's held belts in 5 different weight classes. Canelo's held titles in 4 different weight classes: light middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. Now, you can arguably say that Mayweather's fought better men as well. Mayweather's fought better fighters than Canelo Alvarez, really. Apart from, like, I think Golovkin, you would say, might be the best out of both resumes that were, you could say, in around their prime. However, Floyd's depth in resume is unbelievable. Like Marquez, Cotto, Zab Judah. We're talking about prime Zab Judah. Maidana, Mosley, and let's not forget, he fought a younger Mosley. Cotto fought a younger Cotto, right? He fought Hatton, Pacquiao, Canelo. He beat Canelo. Yes, it wasn't prime Canelo. Listen, when Mayweather beat Canelo, that wasn't prime Canelo. Like, I know Mayweather fans try to claim that, oh, he beat him in school. Yes, Mayweather did beat him, and Mayweather, for me, is a better fighter than Prime Canelo. Yes, 100%. Mayweather moved up into his 5th weight class, and he was beating guys comfortably, schooling men, schooling guys. Like, he beat Cotto comfortably, really. Yeah, he had a bloody nose, but when you look at the fight that Cotto had with Canelo years later, when you look at, you know, arguably, did Canelo beat Lara? Did Canelo beat Golovkin? You know, I know Mayweather had the only fight that I could say, apart from the Castillo one, which was very early on, that you could say Mayweather was very close. And a lot of people thought he nicked that as well. And that was Maidana. Apart from that, really, Mayweather outclassed Guerrero, knocked out Ortiz, outclassed Hatton, knocked out Hatton, outclassed Pacquiao, outclassed Canelo, beat Cotto pretty comfortably, Mosley pretty comfortably. Apart from getting hit with that shot, he schooled Mosley. Mayweather beat everyone, man. Mayweather, yes, did he duck and dodge certain guys in around their primes? Yeah. But if you look at the guys that he fought, he beat them quite comfortably. You know, De La Hoya was a close fight, and that was De La Hoya towards the end at 154. But again, it was at a weight class that, you know, wasn't Mayweather's preferred weight class. That was De La Hoya's preferred weight class. Mayweather had to fight De La Hoya at his preferred weight class. So really, if I'm honest with you, when you look at the wins that Mayweather's got on his resume, they're actually better than Canelo's. He's probably fought better fighters, and he's probably, but he's definitely had more convincing wins over them as well. Like I said, Cotto fought Canelo, and that was a very close fight years after Mayweather fought him. And Mayweather schooled, I won't say schooled, but Mayweather beat Cotto quite comfortably. That wasn't a close fight. You know, nobody was saying Cotto won that fight. Whereas with Cotto Canelo, a lot of people thought that Cotto deserved something from that fight. You know, so again, I just don't see how you can make a case for prime Canelo being better. Even though, I think the version of Canelo now is so much better than the version that fought Cotto. So if we're looking at this version, yeah, he's beating these guys comfortably, but who's he beating? That's what you've got to look at as well. Like, he beat Callum Smith, he beat Avni Yildirim. You know, are we looking at a 3-4 year period? Because I still don't think this version of Canelo is anything as good as Floyd. I don't think he's fighting the competition. Yeah, he beat Kovalev as well, but Kovalev was way at the end of his career. Way at the end of his career. People say, oh, well, Mayweather didn't have power. Yeah, when Mayweather moved up to his 5th weight class, he didn't have power. But Mayweather at 135, Mayweather was a killer of those weights. Mayweather was destroying guys. He was an unbelievable fighter at those weight classes. So I think people look at I think there's too many guys that started watching Floyd very late when he was at welterweight. When really he was fighting guys that were way bigger than him, that were oversized. And yet he was still beating them in dominant fashion. What Floyd was doing at welterweight shouldn't be done. You know, he was beating guys in dominant fashion at welterweight when he wasn't a welterweight. It's like Canelo going, and he was fighting guys that were top. Like, he wasn't, like, if you look at his reign as a welterweight, yeah, you could say he picked and chose, but he beat everyone, really. All the top guys, Pacquiao, you know, he beat everyone in around welterweight at that time. Mosley, Cotto, you know, like, he beat everyone, man. He beat everyone, and I think he beat him well. He beat him well. Like Canelo, if you look at all the guys that he went up with, like Golovkin, Jacobs, that was supposed to be a test, they were all close fights. They were all very close fights. You know, many people thought I think Golovkin definitely did win the first fight. I thought Canelo won the second fight. I don't think people say that Golovkin beat him the second. I don't think so. I think Canelo won Canelo won the second one. But the first one, I definitely think Golovkin nicked that. Or not nicked it. I thought he won, you know, that one. I think he should have got the nod. But nevertheless, I think Canelo, for me, is one of my favorite fighters today, and I don't think he gets the respect. I think there's too many haters out there saying that he's ducking and dodging and he's not fighting the best. Come on. Canelo's fighting everybody and anybody. He's fighting Saunders next. He's going to fight Plant after that. What do you want this guy to do? Go up and fight Tyson Fury before you give him respect? It's just that when people bring Floyd Mayweather into it and say, oh, well, Canelo's a better fighter and Canelo would beat Floyd Mayweather, I don't think so. I don't think so. Floyd Mayweather was a genius. He was a defensive wizard. And let's not forget, Canelo Alvarez, if you look at what he's doing with his moves in his boxing career, the way he's managing his career, and the way he fights now, a lot of Canelo is copying Mayweather. Canelo is copying what Mayweather did. And as they say, Danielson can never be better than Mr. Miyagi. And we found out when they fought each other. Canelo was always an admirer of Floyd Mayweather. Canelo was somebody that looked at Floyd Mayweather and stole his move. Even though Canelo at times will be bitter towards Mayweather, Canelo stole a lot of Mayweather's moves. Even though I think it was more De La Hoya, the promoter of Canelo, that was a bit more bitter towards Mayweather. However, I think Canelo had a lot of respect for Mayweather. Canelo, at times, yeah, he did take shots at times at Mayweather, but I think Canelo had a lot of respect and knew how great Mayweather was. I think a lot of the bad PR from Canelo's team was done by De La Hoya, because De La Hoya definitely had a grudge against Mayweather. But in terms of Mayweather being a better fighter than Canelo, absolutely. Prime Mayweather was probably at 135. And that version of Mayweather was, I think, unrivaled. He was an unbelievable fighter. I think the one that went to 147, the version of Floyd Mayweather at 147 was a version that, in my opinion, was just, he was just getting behind his tricky defense and schooling guys. Not the most exciting to watch. Canelo's probably more exciting to watch right now. Even though I think Canelo's a lot more exciting to watch than the 147-pound Floyd. So if we were talking about prime for prime in terms of who's the more exciting fighter, I would say Canelo. But in terms of who was the better fighter, I would say Mayweather. Mayweather was very effective. And like I said, I think Canelo is copying a lot of Floyd Mayweather's moves. Canelo is using a lot of Floyd Mayweather's moves in his career right now, whether it's from the way he's guiding his career or whether it's some of the moves that he uses in the boxing ring. Canelo definitely, in my opinion, was a fan of Floyd Mayweather, and definitely for me has copied some of Floyd Mayweather's moves. Without question, he's definitely copied some of Floyd Mayweather's moves. And I just don't know why people... I think Canelo's got a lot of haters now that people try to drag him down for some reason. And for Floyd Mayweather, the haters on another level. They try to drag him down. Like, why are you trying to say that a prime Canelo is better than Floyd? Just enjoy, like, you enjoyed Mayweather's career, enjoy Canelo's career. But like I said, I just think the comparison, firstly, the prime for prime is weight classes apart. In terms, if you want to compare them prime for prime on who's a better fighter, then 1,000,000%, in my opinion, listen, you may not agree, Floyd Mayweather was a better fighter in his prime than what Canelo is showing right now. And Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, probably fought better fighters, right? There was more depth in Floyd Mayweather's resume from 135 to 147 than, unfortunately, Canelo really... Who's he really got at middleweight? Yeah, he's got Charlo, Andrade, but these are guys are all right. But are these guys as good as Cotto, Pacquiao, Mosley, Judah? Nah, I don't think he is. Marquez, are they? No, I don't think these guys are. So to be honest with you, I personally think Floyd Mayweather was in his prime a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez. That's just my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Love to know your opinions. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.